Oh yes, welcome back to shoot number 2. You can see what I've done here. It's actually added in a couple of little cutouts in my design. Okay, that was all done with the ruler in the guide. And I've also added in a bit of a joining section over here. This is how I'm going to join this design, and that's just with some rivets down the side there. So you can add some features in like that to your design as well. What we're going to do now is actually, well, I'm going to show you the only time you really take the ruler out of these guides. Okay, the only time you take it out is if you want an angle that isn't sort of on this horizontal plane here, or that horizontal plane, or the vertical plane. So let's say, for example, that we wanted to chop a section of my design away, something like maybe down the edge there, or something like that, or maybe off to the edge here. What we'd actually do is we'd work out, and if you remember back to the brief house sketch, it's just like doing a chamfer. So what I'd do is I'd actually take a point, let's say here, and I'm going to make another point, let's say about there, okay, and I take my ruler out of the guide, line my 2 points up, and just sort of draw across. Now it might not quite make sense at the moment because I've got all these other lines here, but when I render it up, you'll see what I mean. I'm going to do another one just by sort of going from this point here up to the top here. It's only a little sort of chamfer, but it's just to show you how to do that. The other thing I do need to do is put my ruler back in the guide and continue. If you notice the back edge, I put that in while you were gone. The back edge needs to go all the way down now because you'll see it just to that point there. And so hopefully you can start to understand what I've done. I've cut away that little section. Okay, we're going to render it up now, so you'll need your pencil. As I said, I've got my lovely blue one. You can get rid of your ruler, and the first thing you want to do is choose a light source. So which way is the light coming from? I'm going to choose this direction here, and so this surface here is going to be a lot lighter than this surface here. This one's going to be darker, so I'll start with the dark side, and it's just about getting a lot of colour down onto your page. And it's also about the angle in which you colour. So notice how I go at a 45-degree angle to my lines on that surface, the vertical lines. Okay, I'm just getting a lot of colour down quickly. Yours is going to look better than mine because you're going to spend more time colouring yours in. But you can see very quickly I get some nice dark colour there. Not worried about staying within the lines too much. Just want to get a lot of colour down quickly. Now this side I'm going to keep a lot lighter, and I'm going to do the angle in the opposite direction. Okay, so I want to go opposite to this angle. So that way I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to do it and shade lightly. It'll take me a bit more time because I've got all these boxes here. And we're just trying to make it look more three-dimensional with our colouring in. Now you can turn your page around, turn your board around to make it easier to colour in. I can't move my board because the camera's in the way, but for you guys you can move that board around so that it's a little easier to colour in. Now this is where it gets important, because you'll notice here I've got my little cutout section. Well, this side here is the same surface as that side, so it's going to be really dark, and I'm going to do it at the same angle again. So watch this. Nice and dark down in there, all the way. And then this surface is the same as that one, so I'm going to change my angle and I'm going to keep it nice and light. And you can see how now it's starting to look like a little popped in section. The last thing I need to do, well, I can make these nice and dark because they're cutouts. So once again I'm going to choose a different angle to the angle I've got here, so I'm going to come back this way. Go nice and dark in there, dark in there, dark in there, and dark in there. Now those of you who have worked this out, I also need to go dark down in here because that's a cutout section too. And even up the top here needs to be a bit shaded. I'm going to keep this side over here a bit lighter just so it contrasts this colour here. And notice the angle I'm doing is a different angle, like that, And this one I'm going to do a little bit darker, sort of halfway in between those ones. And that's pretty much it for the shading, and we'll stop there with this tutorial. The third tutorial is the final one, and we'll just finish it up with a bit of black outline and also some annotations, which are sort of like little written notes on our design. Move on to tutorial number 3.